And welcome to Poppy's Workshop. It is Saturday, the 23rd of December, just before Christmas. And I think I have everything working now. For once, I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out. Well, anyway, we're looking at the workbench right now, and you're going to see all kinds of interesting things on it. Oh, that's flat already. Oh, man. Okay, something's going on with my soft things. I already addressed that yesterday. So anyway, what's on the workbench, and let's get working today. See what's going on. And actually, I forgot to put my earbuds in. Let me find my hearing protection. So you're probably wondering, what the heck am I looking at here? Well, this is the top view of the picture that you just saw. And here we have the 1950s racer. Indy racer that I finished 2 of these yesterday. I actually already gave one of them away and received a photograph of the child, 2-year-old boy, almost 2-year-old boy using it, and it was like, man, that just makes me feel so good to see something like that. So that's what I finished yesterday. So let's move that over there, and yeah, I got all the sawdust here and everything. That just helps with the photographs. I worked as a photographer for many, many years professionally, 20 plus years, I think. Did it professionally for about 7 years full-time, and then just did my own thing for a while. So what we're going to be, well, let me do this. Let me pivot this around, get this over here, and you're going to say, what is this? Let's slide this back. So yesterday I had a little idea in my head. I said, you know something? I'm taking these pictures of all these cars, and I should be doing something. What can I do? Actually, let me say hi to Herb. Glad you're there, Herb. I'll just talk to you this way. Now that I know, I'm learning to look at the chat as I do this. But anyway, so yesterday I said, I need to come up with something to give myself a little bit better backdrop, thus the picture that you saw earlier. So what I did is I just took some scrap wood and made up a picture that says gas, Poppy's fuel, and a fuel pump. And I put it in my little laser, and I already put it away so you can't see it, but it's only like this big. I have this little laser that I will burn small things like this. Let me switch over here, and that way I can make sure that you can see what I see. So I'll burn little things like this. Because I think I can only go about that big. I do have my big laser that will do 12 by 12. I do have extender rails, so I'll be extending that as well. So anyway, I just quick dropped a few things, wrote up the gas and everything like that, put a circle around it, did the same thing with the fuel pump, and said, I'm going to make something up real quick. These tires actually remove. So everything else is glued into place. So these here that are supposed to be, let me get it a little bit closer here. The sun is starting to come through the window behind me. I may have to drop something on it. So right here, you can see the oil cans. I'll probably add a few more to that. And what they are, when I do my wheel pegs, where's my jig? Yeah, here we go. So when I do my wheel pegs, I'm using 3/4 inch wood, and depending on what it is, let's see, I think this would have worked. Yeah. So if you look here, you'll see that the peg will go more than halfway. So of course, when you're doing it with a tire, this one actually has a full axle. But if I was using my wheels, oh yeah, these were pegs. So I'll show you here. So if we were doing it here, of course it goes all the way through. So I put it in my little quickie jig at a scrap. Here's all the different holes that I pre-drilled on the side. So I'll slide the peg in like that. So you see it right here. And you'll actually see that it, oh, this may be one. Ah, that was one that I cut yesterday from one of the larger axles. So what winds up happening is I cut off right at the ½ inch mark right there. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah, the light's getting kind of bad here. So that's what I do, and then as I keep doing more, they all just kind of come out the other end here. And I had a whole bunch of them. I'm like, gee, what am I going to do? And I had them laying over here, and I just started putting them on, and said, dang, they look like oil cans. So, yeah, glued. So there we have that, and then I just decided to lean that over to give us a little setting. And again, that's just for, photography purposes. And in reality, if I decided to, I could actually make this, make more of these, make it a little bit better. I mean, I whipped this out in just a couple minutes. Make it a little bit better and be able to include it with some of the cars that I do. And, I had a couple of the little people there. That's why he's not in there. So what we're going to be doing today, a couple different things before we get to the scroll saw, is I'm working on these 1972 Corvettes, and I made some slight modifications to the design. One was using larger tires, larger fenders. I think they were looking at ½ inch, and I used 3/4. And then their center, they did, I think, 1.5 inches. And again, I just went all 3/4. That way I could do some stack cutting and get 4 different cars out of it, which was really nice to be able to do. So yesterday what I did is I got all the wheels on and, oops, get the little guy out, and stamped them with my stamp. And the thing that I did, I mentioned in another video, is that I had done the thicker the thicker spacer for the wheel, because the other one that I did, my first prototype as I was going through, what it looked like would have been something like this. It was, it had more showing, and I mean that's fine. It's a lovely car. I'm looking at it right over there, but I'm one of those guys who like to have the wheel fill the fender and everything. However, one of the things that happened in doing that is with the design, this one I've already trimmed, is that when you place it, and let me bring my other one that we're going to be working on today. Little people out. So what happens, as you can see, the fender does not fit. So that is a distinct issue there. So I forgot to get my pencil, so hold on for a second there, and I will be back momentarily. I forgot to put my work apron on. I'm kind of out of sorts. Typical Saturday. My poor wife, she was supposed to be up at, she got up at 4 in the morning to start a crock pot of some beef. And she got it. She had to put the beef in, put all the seasoning, all that stuff, turned it on, and staggered back to bed. And just a little while ago, she says, "You're not going to believe," well, I think it was probably about 8:30 this morning. She said, "You won't believe what I did. I got the meat, put it in, turned it on, went back to bed." She forgot to plug the crock pot in. So there was 4.5 hours of cooking wasted. Then what happened, she tried to speed things up. She started using her new pots and pans. They weren't seasoned. She had things on high, so she wound up scorching the beef. And she said, "Be honest, try this." And, it had the flaky stuff. And I said, I'd rather eat the Taco Bell that, that eat this sadly. So yeah, poor wife. So anyway, you know, those things happen. So I told her, well, you learned an important lesson. Don't start the crock pot at 4 a.m. But here's the funny thing. She should have just told me to start it for her, because I'm up. I was actually up at 2 a.m. Generally, I'm up by 3 a.m. Every morning. So, you know, that's what it is. So anyway, you know, it's just some of the funny things that we do there. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to be taking a little bit of this back fender off here. So I'm going to have to flip it upside down so I can get my sketch in here. And I'm going to pencil in my cut line. So I'm going to remove this, and then that should shift back, and that will give me plenty of room here. And as you can see, I have a little bit here that I want to get rid of to fine tune it. Now, when I do the design next time, when I do more of these, what I will do is I'm already going to compensate for that. And I won't have to do that. But again, these are my first 4, and that's what I needed to do there. So, okay, Herb's getting coffee. Well, Herb, while you're getting coffee, I'm going to go take a sip of my my drink here, unless you're already back. But, and I can put my hearing print. Now, actually, I'll just use my headsets. I was going to use my noise-canceling earbuds, but I will save those for another time. So, what I will do, let's switch here, make sure everything is working on the workbench. One of the other things that I am going to do is I'm going to do this cut all together. So I don't know if I can use this one. I'm trying to think. So I'll line this up like so. And basically I'm going to do a stack cut, a clamped stack cut in this case. So let's go over to the scroll saw. And here we are. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. It's going to be blocked a little bit for the first cut. But when I do the front, you should be able to do that. Now I'm getting a little bit of reflection here, and I'm trying to find my little towel that I hang over the edge. And of course, it is not handy dandy. Dummy Rick. Yeah, I'm learning about live videos. So let me do this. Let me cut this first one, and then we'll get to this, and you can see that. And actually, I'm not going to turn the turn anything on for the vacuum, since this is kind of a short, easy cut, and I need more speed. Smooth it out a little bit, make my sanding a little bit easier. Yeah, mucho better. Okay, so let's get rid of those. I think I'm going to have to get this hose out of the way a little bit more. Make sure I can cut without hitting anything. And I think you can see that. So let me switch back to the other screen here. All right. Okay, so let me make sure this is all lined up. You know, in the grand scheme, does it have to be super perfect top, you know, the left and right? No, because, you know, you're only looking at one side of the piece. But again, taking pride in my work and trying to do the best that I possibly can. I don't like to rush things. And I always like to double check. I think I'm reaching end of life on this blade. There we go. All right, I think that's pretty smooth. So what we now have, let's get that up there. Actually, let me do this. So now what we have is knocked out just a little bit more. And don't need that clamp now. I've got all the clamps right on my table here. I've got 5 of those type of clamps, which I really like. So let's go back over to the workbench. Yay! Okay, so let's check the fit. And, you know, I think, wait a sec, it actually comes up a little bit. So, oops, yeah, let's just do one at a time. I might have to take a little bit more off. Wait a sec, let me check this one here. I think we got it. All right, so this is resting on it. Now we're going to bring it up a little bit. That is close. Yeah, that's got to come down a little. I think I'm going to take off just a little bit more. You know, this is where measure twice, cut once. Well, I didn't do that. You know, I'm thinking I could try sanding it. Nah, you know, this is a hard wood. Yeah, I didn't get a very straight cut there. So, let's do that again. And over we go to the scroll saw. Let's clamp that again. All right, I'm going to do the front first. We'll get that all lined up. Get that out of the way. What I need to do, there we go. Except I think my clamp may be in the way a little bit. I'm putting my, actually, let me bring this down here. since I don't have my vacuum on. Come on. You know, sometimes I wonder if I should have just done them separately. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Let's smooth that out. Yeah, that feels better there. Okay, now, yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas tomorrow. First one with my grandson. He was born back in February. And looking forward to that. Here we go. So this is curly maple. So it's quite hard. It's a beautiful wood. There we go. Yeah, it's actually pretty smooth. Yeah, not too bad. Change the angle just a little bit, but overall, let me get that clamp out of the way. Put it there for now. But yeah, I changed the angle a little bit. That may look okay. So let's pivot around, go back to the workbench, see what is going on. Ah, Herb. That particular blade is a Pegasus number 10. I have been using that to its death, mainly because I've been cutting really hard wood on the Noah's Ark. Here, let me see if I can grab that. Pardon my grab here. Oh, where are you? I'm probably going to dump a whole bunch of stuff here. Oh. And I did grab one of the things that I wanted. Okay, sorry about that. So if you remember in other videos what I had, I have the 12 different species of wood that I use for my Noah's Ark, of which this is Purple Heart. I also use bloodwood, which is really, really hard. So I decided to use the number 10 just to really start, it's aggressive. And my normal go-to, though, is the number 5 Ultra Reverse Flying Dutchman. That's my favorite blade. So when I'm doing, the regular cuts, not stack cutting and things like that, or using softer wood, say maybe under 900 Janka and below, I'll use those. So I have the go-to as my number 5, and let's see. Let's take a look at this now. Let me raise that up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Let me index this. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of touching. I want it to touch here and here. And then on the front, I'm going to want it to index right near the windshield. Or actually, let me do this. Let me clamp my hand. So I'm trying to index it right about here, where the steering wheel will be, and where the tail touches. So that gives me my index, and I think I'm still rubbing a little bit, just a little bit there, but that'll be taken care of sand. Oh, actually, I might be able to move back just a little bit. And this is where when you get to glue up, you've got to be ultra careful. So actually, I'm going to bring it back just a little bit more and up. Yeah, so I think we got it. That's where it's going to index. But what I'm going to do is sand these. But let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to raise you up to the higher level. So let me switch back here. Okay, so I'm going to raise you up. And got to loosen these things. There we go. And of course, the crank is in the way. Okay. Yeah, you can see the sunlight coming through. I got to get some darkening curtains there. Let's see. This is still pretty good. So let me do this. The vacuum normally goes on when I do this. So, and right now I've been using this. I'm kind of rearranging how my dust handling is. I tried to use, I removed the long 3/4 inch lock line. I can put it back on if I want. I'm still trying to decide, but I was doing a lot of Forstner cutting. And as you know, that is pretty messy with the Forstner. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah. So if you see this blast gate here, actually, I'll just slide in my adapter, and it'll come out with another. Actually, I'll move the blast gate, and it comes with a gooseneck over to here, so it can suck everything up. With this kind of dust and everything, it works fine. But with the Forstner, I have the big, what does it look like, about 10 by 4 inch, intake that I rest on this and clamp it. And if I had it there, you wouldn't be able to see anyway. But let's get this on. We are at 13. I'm going to slow it down. All right, I got us at 540, 550. Okay. So I'm just going to smooth this out. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn on my my filtration system. I'll only put it on 2. That way we don't hear it. I've got the Wen air filtration. I got to remember to use it more. It's getting smooth here. Let me just switch over so I can see things here. So I guess John is out of town. He said he's going into the city or something, so he's not going to be doing his lives, I guess. There we go. That's nice and smooth. So there's just a little ridge there, and I'm going to take that out. And he said he'll be back, I guess, Monday or Tuesday, and we'll do it Tuesday, maybe, his live. Now for me, since I get up so early in the morning, usually those evening ones I can't do. All right, so what I'm going to do then also, now that we're there, that's a lot of dust. Oh, I got to figure out a better way to do that. Because if I put a mask on, I'll be muffled. And otherwise, just be silent. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, those cuts actually wound up pretty good. Let's see. You can see my remnant of the pencil line. Whoop, let me do this. I got to switch back between screens here. So you can just barely see the pencil line there. So I stayed true to it. And that's always been my mantra, no matter what I do, is I try to stay true to my lines. Yeah, get that nice and smooth. Again, I do intarsia and other types where my products have to fit together, like the puzzles. When I do multi-species puzzles, and I guess that's kind of my favorite thing, or claim to fame, whatever you want to call it, is the multi-species. So like the Noah's Ark, for example. Yeah. Let's take a look-see here. So I want to see how close we're lined up here. Index it at the bottom. And yeah, so these are nice. I'll look at the top. Nearly perfect. I mean, it's like, oh gosh, not even a fingernail thickness between them. So that, that came out nice. So let's see what I want to do. I think we have one more car that, well, let me double check that before we go. And actually I have an idea. Yeah. If that, let's check here. I'm looking under the fender here. I really don't want to see any daylight. And that tells me that I'm indexed. Yep, I'm indexed at the steering wheel. And this can come down a little bit. So yeah, so let me do this. Let's get the next car. I think it's this one here. Is it? I've got too many cars. Forgetting what I'm doing. Yeah, those rubs. So I'm going to get sneaky. Hopefully, if I line these two up, yes, you can see, let's get that perfectly lined up. And I'm going to give my pencil line inside. Yeah, boy, I'm feeling like a real airhead right now. Let me get that off and out of the way. So what I did is penciled out my cuts based on the previous. Yeah, we'll leave that set up there. And we'll go back over to the scroll saw. And meanwhile, I will check the chat. Okay. Yeah. And I gotta sit down here. Actually, I have my stool lower than normal with me switching between the stations. So, oops, you just saw what I was going to, the next thing that I'm going to cut out. I showed this on yesterday's video, was the boat and the whale. So there's the whale, there's the boat, everything, all my pilots are cut, and good to go there. And I'm debating on that, Herb, when you asked about what I cut with. This blade is on its last legs. I've been really milking it. I wanted to see how far I could take the, hold on for a sec, try to pay attention here. There we go. I want to see how far I could take it before, you know, I really notice that it's dulling out on me. And it's almost at that point. Now, I find that, you know, blades are fairly inexpensive. You know, you don't want to go crazy using them for a short amount of time, but you also, you know, you don't want to overuse them. You definitely don't want to underuse them. You want to do it just right as they do in the Three Little Bears. And here we go. Let's do this. I think we got that lined up there. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Pardon the shaking. And a little pivot back. Okay, that should do it. I think that gives you a little bit better view of what I am doing. And I think I'm going to go back to moving my cart closer so I can get a little bit more of an angle this way, so you're seeing more at the top than at an angle like this. All these things you learn when you're trying to stream. Here we go. And yeah, that's me being the puffer as I lose sight of the line. I could adjust it to go over the top. I may do that. I don't know. All right, let's see if I can make a smooth finish here. Yeah, I don't like that as well. Yeah, that's definitely a sharper rake. Now again, this is where I get picky. But that's just me. You know, most people won't notice these things. And you can see, you know, speed is definitely not my middle name. I think John has my name as, you know, slow as molasses. Now, I understand that he says that because he doesn't finish projects, thus he's slow. Me, I cut slow. Yeah, you can hear the chattering of the blade because it's so dull. The nice thing about going slow is that you can micro adjust. So if I see myself going off the line, I can make these micro adjustments that you would never notice by eye. I'll stay well within a quarter of a blade thickness. There we go. All right, we're almost to the end here. And again, I want to exit smoothly. And I didn't, but that's not too bad. There. Okay. Actually, that's not too bad at all. That'll be an easy sand there. So let's do this. I think you've already seen how I do the let me move all this into place. And actually, let's zoom out here. I think you've already seen how I do the sanding and everything, so that's not. So yeah, actually, yeah, this blade, you can see is starting to, funny thing is it's discoloring down at the base. Just starting to get that purplish, so that would be from the temperature. But not bad at all, but I'm looking, what I also do is I look at the top that's generally not used compared to the bottom, and this blade is actually held up pretty well. That's what I like about Pegas, though I'm not a Pegas guy. I'm not opposed to it, of course, as you can see. Actually, I think I'm gonna do another Pegas here. I got a really good deal on this. I think it was Mike's Workshop. I forgot who it was. Maybe it was, oh, I forgot who it was. But what happened, I guess they had ordered something and they got sent all these number 10s. And they're like, we don't want them. So he wound up repackaging them and selling them for cheap. I mean, it was like 50 cents on the dollar, I think. It was a great deal. And I figured, you know, I'm going to have that. You know, actually, that purple is already, okay, so that's part of the stamping, I guess. So that blade that I just took out has the same purple. So, yeah, interesting. So you'll notice what I do is I flip the lever back. That's so that I can see here. And then when I go underneath, I flip it back down. And then, oh, I missed. There it is. Get it into place. And then what I do is I'll pull up. Oh, that's pulling up a lot. I'll pull up a little bit. And tension it. I don't like the way that tensioned. I'm going to double check that. So I line it up to the top of the screw inside here. That's why I prefer to have that back so I can see that. And then it will always be in the same place down below. All right, so as you can tell, that's not tensioned properly. So that's why I come back and I'll lift it up a little bit. Yeah, that feels better. And give it a little start there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do some cutting, and I am going to put the air handling system on. Let me switch my my blast gates here, and I will actually turn off the audio so you don't have to listen to it. And that's a good thing. And let me get this out of the way. Actually, I'm not going to need that since I'm going to have my vacuum on. I'll let you be able to see that. So one of the things I did with my my top vac is you'll see, I don't know if you can see those. Let's get that down. You can see just a little bit there. I glued a magnet at the top and the side because I had this little brush, and you can see I have the opposite magnets, polarity there and there. So now, let me get this up. I think you can see, oh, just, there we go. So, boom, it's there, and I change the angle to a little bit more steeper. Make sure I'm clear of that. So let's see. Yeah. I think we can go down. So now I have the ability to direct the stream a little bit better. And then the brush, it seals a little bit better. I have a little bit of movement if need be. And that's just one of my one of my inventions, if you want to call it as such. So let's see. So if the wood comes through, you can see it will brush it and clean it. So yeah, let's, You know, I haven't done a boat yet, so I think I'm going to do the boat. Let me just double check my tightness here and see if there's any comments. There we go, no comments. So I'm going to switch back to this, and I'm going to turn off my mic pack so you do not have to listen to the vacuum. One of these days we'll test how loud it is so that I can keep on talking. So I'll let you listen to it for just a moment. Whoop. There we go. So that's the vacuum on. Let me turn it off now. It actually doesn't look that bad on the bottom. And I think I'm back. Let me get my hearing protection off. So, let's see what we got here. It seems to still be going all right. So, there is, get that up here, and let's zoom you out. Come on, sawdusty hands. So there is the little tugboat, and let's see, I think these are the wheels that I'm going to use on them. So this is the type of wheel that I'm going to use, which is the round with a peg. And again, you can see how that goes all the way through. So I'm going to get more oil cans. Yay! So we'll have that. And then what I'm also going to do is from the top, let me get that out. From the top, I'm going to be drilling a hole in the center. And then we'll have a little thing that they can tie up to tug other boats. So that's that one there. So I think that's, where are we at right now? Oh, we're at 54 minutes. I think that is about it for the live stream coming down, you know, a little bit here. So anyway, I'm not sure if I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow, which will be the 24th, Christmas Eve. Possibility that I will. I'll make a decision later today as I know what's going on when my grandson will be coming over. What's nice is, let's see, yep, that way 3 houses down, my daughter, husband, and my grandson is there. They own a home just right next to mom and dad, which is real nice because I get to see my grandson almost every day. And just watch him grow and flourish is something that's very special to me. And I actually look forward to the day when he's, you know, 3, 4 years old and he can run across 2 yards to my workshop and watch what I do and everything like that. So I guess that's pretty much it. I hope everybody has a wonderful, blessed Christmas, and if I don't do a live stream next week, you have yourself, you know, a happy New Year. Of course, be safe. You know, just and watch out for the other people. So, with that, may the Lord richly bless you and make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.